Our Across the Aisle segment tonight is a shocking photograph of Barack Obama with known hate leader and anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan. The photo was revealed just last week after it had been hidden for 13 years. This photo was hidden by a journalist of all people who said that he hid the photo on purpose in order to protect Obama's political future. Even liberal Alan Dershowitz said he would not have campaigned for Obama if he had known about the Farrakhan picture. Now, remember when President Trump was criticized by the media for not condemning white supremacist David Duke quickly enough or strongly enough? Just like David Duke, Louis Farrakhan is a hate leader. Where's the condemnation from the left and the mainstream media? With me now, history professor and author of Obama's America, Ian Reifowitz. Ian, good to see you.
Good to see you again, Liz.
All right, Ian, this is an ongoing debate that you and I have over whether the mainstream media is biased towards the left or not. You say they are not biased. I say they are biased. Look at this situation with me. This journalist, a journalist, not a political operative, a journalist, took a photo of Barack Obama, who was a senator at the time, with known hate leader and anti-Semite Louis Farrakhan. He hid the photo for 13 years, since 2005, in order to protect Obama's political future. Now, that's not speculation. Those are his words, in order to protect Obama's political future. Ian, what is that if that is not bias?
It's absolutely bias. But this gentleman does not represent the mainstream media. I did a lot of research on who this gentleman is. All right, Mohammed Askia, okay? He has been working for a number of years as, wait for it, the head of the Washington offices of the Nation of Islam's official newspaper, The Final Call. So to call him a journalist is one thing, but he seems to be operating more as an activist. He typically has... his journalism has been about commentary, and he has won a couple of awards for his commentary, not for investigative journalism, but for commentary. He had one commentary that won an award that was about his memories of Mississippi.
But commentary,
another one was about
that's immaterial. With all due respect, that's immaterial because commentary doesn't mean that you lie. Well, commentary doesn't mean that you're dishonest. Commentary doesn't mean that you withhold pretty serious information in order to protect a political crony of yours. But the point of this goes even deeper than that. Ian, who asked this journalist, he was a journalist at the time, who asked this journalist to hide this photo?
Oh, the Congressional Black Caucus asked him.
Yeah,
I mean, I read the same articles that you read. And I looked, actually, I tried to find something. I read about a dozen articles to see who actually Mr. Askia was working for when he took these photographs. What media outlet was he covering this event for? And I couldn't find any mention of it. So my impression is that he was probably there covering the event for the Nation of Islam's newspaper. We're not talking about somebody who's working for the New York Times or CNN. We're talking about an activist. And so this person, to me, is not a journalist. We're talking about someone who
self-identifies as a journalist who had a photo
so does James
of
O'Keefe.
a high-level politician with a known hate leader. Louis Farrakhan has said that 9/11 was an inside job. He has blamed Jewish people in America for that. He is a black nationalist. He calls white people white devils, and he has called for the beheading of gay people in our country. Then Senator Barack Obama took a photograph with this man, smiling with this man. The Congressional Black Caucus, why was Louis Farrakhan even at a meeting of the Congressional Black Caucus? They made a telephone call to this journalist who, again, self-identified as a journalist. This journalist hid this photo for 13 years in order to protect Obama. This is what he said. The journalist said, after the nomination was secured and all the way up through the inauguration, then for 8 years after he was president, it was kept undercover. It absolutely would have made a difference. Ian, do you believe that this photo would have made a difference if it was made public at the time?
Would Obama have still been elected? Yes, I think he would have. But you made some very good points, and I want to address them. This gentleman has forfeited the right to call himself a journalist. Okay, certainly going forward, wherever he was before, a real journalist would not have done this. So this is an example of journalistic, if you want to call him a journalist. It's certainly malpractice. It certainly reveals bias. So that's one thing. Second of all, Barack Obama has denounced Louis Farrakhan on multiple occasions.
No, he was pressured into denouncing Louis Farrakhan by Hillary Clinton. He made a very soft comment about him. Ian, where's the mainstream media now pushing this photo? Where are the quote-unquote real journalists saying how horrible this was, saying the same things that you're saying? Where are the CNN, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, all these different places? Where are these people, the Washington Post, where are these people, these mainstream journalists saying how horrible it was to suppress a photograph like this? Because I don't hear them.
First of all, I need to finish that other point, which is that Barack Obama in 1995, when he was nobody, denounced Louis Farrakhan when he was asked about the Million Man March. He said, quote, cursing out white folks is not going to get the job done. Anti-Semitic and anti-Asian statements are not going to lift us up. And he went on to talk about the
not
positive
going to get
things
the
that
job
African
done.
Americans
So he doesn't like it
do.
as a political tool. He doesn't acknowledge it for the evil that it is. That's a debate for a different day. That's a debate for a different day. I will ask this question one more time. Then we have to go. Where's the mainstream media? Where are they calling this out? How come this isn't as big of a deal as when Donald Trump took one day to disavow David Duke? Because it seems to me that it's the same thing. David Duke, Louis Farrakhan, both bad men, both hate leaders. Yet when a Republican doesn't disavow someone quick enough, the media goes wild. When a Democrat has a photograph taken smiling with this hate leader, the mainstream media is quiet.
Because Donald Trump did take some time to denounce David Duke. Barack Obama has denounced Louis Farrakhan, who deserves to be denounced. And he did it 8 years ago, not to mention the comment from 1995 that I talk about. Do they want him to re-denounce after he's pre-denounced? I mean, come on. The crime here is the malpractice of not showing this photograph. I agree with you 100%. This was a photograph that any real journalist would have shared at the time.
Don't even kid yourself.
This person
if
bowed
a photograph
to that pressure.
From 20 years ago of Donald Trump with a known hate leader surfaced, it would be all the media could talk about for weeks and weeks. And one last comment. If you think, I mean, you said that you think that this would not have made a difference, Barack Obama would have been elected. That is a very scary commentary on the Democratic Party if they would be willing to elect a man who was in a photograph with a hate leader like this. Ian, I do appreciate you coming on the show. Thanks for being here.